common deficit that we might find when people are going through a squat motion is that they start to get a little bit of a knock-knee position. So they might be able to do an air squat and just a body weight squat efficiently with keeping their knees tracking out over their toes. But when they start to get loaded, they might have a little bit of a knee buckling in as they come down, or when they get to the bottom and they go to push out, they have to track their knees in slightly. Now that happens because they're primarily activating it through their quads, and they're very quad dominant in that motion. But we want to be hip dominant with that motion. So we need to engage some of those butt muscles that are going to stabilize those hips, so that way our quads can give a good efficient push with the assistance of our glute muscles that are going to extend our hips. So a good way to do that is to find the spot where those knees start to collapse and work on an isometric, just staying there, pushing those knees apart. That might be enough work for some people, and then you're going to try it at different levels, right? Maybe I try it a little lower, hold that isometric, a little lower, hold that isometric. When we're doing an isometric, we want to hold for 30, maybe even up to 60 seconds when we're doing that. We want to get really efficient in that position of keeping those knees apart. That way, when we go to push ourselves back up, we already are strong and stable at these points along the pathway, and we're going to be able to keep those knees spread out by engaging our hip muscles. Now, as we get better at that, what we want to do is take one of these mini bands, and a fairly firm one. This is a heavy resistance mini band, and I'm going to step through with both feet, and I'm going to have it just above my knees. And I want to push my feet wide, and you see how this is forcing me almost into a knee buckling position, and I'm trying to resist that. So when I go into my squat, I want to keep my knees pressed out. I am screwing my feet into the ground, and I'm trying to pull the ground apart with my feet at the same time. So I'm pulling apart and screwing them into external rotation. So that's going to help me keep my knees tracked out. And I get to a position where I start to feel those knees buckle, and I want to hold that isometric. After I do that for 30 up to 60 seconds, I want to get a little bit lower into another spot. And wherever I feel my weak point, wherever I feel my knees are going to buckle in, that's where I want to start to work that isometric of pushing my knees out and holding myself. Because I want to get stable in those positions, so that way when I start to move through my squat and push up, I've already reinforced those certain positions. That's going to lead me, it's going to be a guide on my track of an area that I can get through with least resistance. So try it with a mini band, pushing the knees out, so we're rotating, we're screwing the feet in, we're pulling the ground apart, and we're getting to our failing point where we start to feel, oh, there's those knees buckling. That's where I need to work that isometric. That's the position I need to get strong in.